The Fed15 podcast is presented by Serving Those Who Serve, a financial planning practice serving federal government employees and retirees all over the country. This podcast is for informational purposes only and is not intended to be taken as financial advice. All listeners should consult their personal advisors before taking any action. The opinions expressed by our hosts are their own and do not reflect the views, policies, or position of either Raymond James or Serving Those Who Serve. Securities are offered through Raymond James Financial Services, Inc., member FINRA SIPC. Investment advisory services are offered through Raymond James Financial Services Advisors, Inc. Serving Those Who Serve is not a registered broker-dealer and is independent of Raymond James Financial Services, Inc. Hi, everyone, and welcome back to this week's episode of the Fed15 podcast presented by Serving Those Who Serve. Each week, we'll discuss the latest news and info that feds need to know in 15 minutes or less. So whether you are a seasoned federal employee or whether you're just starting out in your career, Fed15 has got you covered. So grab your coffee, kick back, and we will tell you what you need to know but might have missed during the week. We're your hosts. I'm Katelyn Murray, and I'm joined by Dan Sipe, Mr. Dan Sipe.
Hey, how are you, Katelyn?
He's back. We let him back this week, everybody.
Yeah, I thought, I was a little concerned because I know what happens when you and Chelsea take it over. Nobody's going to want to see the old shoe here. So glad you let me back, but I get the reason why I'm back. I especially know why I'm back for this episode. Because, folks, we had an election. And election means change. And, you know, I've been doing this a long time. Seven transitions under my belt. So here's the biggest thing you need to know about us. Our political party is Fed. So when there's a new administration, there's always some stuff that changes. We're going to dig in. We're going to figure out what it is. And so you can count on coming here to find out what you need to know to make the best decision. And if you want to go deeper to discuss your own situation and what's best for you, we're set for that too. You know, happy to take the time for that. We are here for you. We're going to be here every week for you. And relax and fed on. We got you covered.
Got it. Yeah, I couldn't have said it better myself, Dan. Our work continues regardless of who's in office. And what our work is to advocate for feds, but also to educate feds and to make sure that you as a Fed have as many choices as possible. Because really the work that we're doing with financial planning and investment management is about choices. It's not necessarily about the dollars and cents. It's about what the dollars and cents represent. So our work continues regardless. And that's definitely been inspiring, right? To hold down. I mean, I can't imagine 7 different transitions. Obviously, change is one of the things, you know, the number one thing the market responds to is uncertainty. We're the same as people because the market is made of people. Spoiler alert. But, you know, kind of shepherding people through that and talking with folks through that has definitely been very meaningful and purposeful work for our team here. So I completely agree with you, Dan. Our political party is indeed
I've been doing
Fed.
it for a minute, Katelyn, and that Chester A. Arthur transition was...
That was a tough one.
That was the biggest challenge in my career. But, you know, I was only 21 at the time, so I was younger.
Got it.
Yeah, there's some history buffs out there that are laughing really hard.
Sure.
At that.
Yeah. No, you haven't aged today.
To everybody else, I apologize for my nerd joke.
Awesome.
So what are we covering today to help our feds? Because it's always a new day, and we are always here.
Yeah, we've got an update for you, a rare update on the Postal Service healthcare benefit plan. There have been, for those of you who have been following this and who have been impacted by this, there has been a stunning lack of updates regarding that transition. And we do have an update here for you today on kind of administrative management and kind of who's handling that. And then we've got the thrilling conclusion of our female Fed series, our Females in Federal Service articles. We're going to be covering those folks who are in the home stretch preparing for retirement. So we've got some kind of tips, ideas, thoughts that you may want to be looking into if that is you. But Dan, why don't you tell us about this PSHB update that we've got here?
Okay, folks, for regular feds, this might be kind of nominally interesting to you, but we know we have lots of postal feds that tune in and read our stuff. So we're always remembering you. 2025, there's a new health benefit program for postal employees, Postal Service Health Benefits Plan. It takes the place of FEHB. And we've already gotten some information out there about some of the nuances to it, like needing to enroll in Medicare Part B and that type of thing. But now we're getting into more of the nutsy and boltsy things. And Katelyn, as I know you're aware, we have a team member who is connected to the benefit plan, and we are absolutely going to make sure that we learn through that as well, as far as the user interface experience and that sort of thing. So one of the biggest things, this is such a cool name. I got to tell you, the contract for essentially customer service and things like that has been awarded to a company called Maximus. I'm Maximus. And
wow, it's giving very Gladiator.
Of course.
The energy
of course, and see, here's what I kind of think. I think your name is Maximus. Do you ever say, just call me Max? No, I don't think so.
Just call me
Max. I think
Max.
you're always Maximus.
Oh, yeah.
So Maximus will serve as PSHB's new contact center provider, assisting with inquiries, providing support throughout the transition and beyond. So again, what's changing? Switching from FEHB to PSHB. That program is going to be a mix of fee-for-service and health maintenance organizations, including nationwide and regional options. Open season is the same, kicks off in 1, 2, 3 days from where we are right now. Of course, by the time you're reading it, it'll be in full swing. And so just like in FEHB, you're going to have a whole lot of different ones to choose from. Now, enrollment in other federal programs like FedVIP, FSA Feds, FEGLI, Federal Long-Term Care Insurance Partners, which presumably is coming back open in December, will remain unaffected. So no impact there. So let's talk about the role of Maximus. They were awarded a $20 million contract to manage customer interactions and, yes, inquiries and answering questions, but also assisting with the transition to the new benefits plan. So their goal, per their mandate, is to provide a really high-quality customer experience utilizing advanced tech and communication strategies. They have something called the Maximum TXM solution. That's total experience management. And again, designed to do the most important thing, which is to enhance the customer, the Fed's experience in accessing these benefits across all of the chassis using telephone, but also CRM communication tools. But something that's kind of cool, they've got a pretty robust AI-enabled web service, chatbots, and Maximum Intelligent Virtual Assistant IVA to improve accessibility and efficiency in handling the inquiries. So the goal is to boost trust and reliability in the new health benefits program and helping users easily explore the coverage and resolve issues. So we're going to be watching. We're going to be following it. This all sounds great, and we really, really, really hope that that is the case. This is a new chapter, and it marks a shift towards customized healthcare solutions for postal workers and Maximus coming in to improve that experience. So be sure to check back here because we will be covering it as we go along. So that's me, Katelyn. What you got for us?
Excellent.
And
yeah.
I'd like to say that we are uniquely qualified here at Serving Those Who Serve to be talking to our female federal executives.
Oh, absolutely.
We got a team here. So take it away.
For sure, Dan. We were covering last week, Chelsea and I, ran the numbers, took a look, and, we are 66% female here at Serving Those Who Serve currently. So I don't know, how much context everybody has, but that is a rarity in the financial services industry. And it is a supreme honor to be able to work on a team like that in this industry as a woman in financial services. So this week we are zeroing in on folks who are really in the home stretch for retirement. You're looking at maybe 5 years, maybe 10 years out, max. So what sorts of things do you need to be focusing on to ensure that you've got, like we talked about in the beginning, right? Maximum choices, that you have, the most resources to enjoy your post-federal career life. So the very first thing that I want you to take a look at, if you are a female Fed who is in the home stretch for retirement, I want you to look at maximizing those TSP contributions. If you are 50 years old or older, you can put in the catch-up contributions. For this year, it's $23,000 as your basic maximum TSP contribution. You can put in an additional $7,500 if you are age 50 or older. And, if it's been a while since you checked where your TSP contributions are, log in, make sure that you are on track to max out, because once you retire and you no longer have earned income, you won't be able to fund that TSP. You also won't be able to fund an IRA, and you won't be able to fund a Roth IRA. There is the possibility of doing something called Roth conversions, where you get money over into Roth, but that is not new money. That is more recharacterization of money from a pre-tax account. Don't have time to get into that in details today, but just know you can't put new money into an IRA, a Roth IRA, or your TSP after you are retired and no longer have earned income. So make sure that you're maxing out the TSP and that you're taking advantage of that. If possible, and you'll want to talk to either a financial planner or an accountant on this, if possible, you can also fund an IRA on top of your TSP. There are folks who are in the income bracket that they can actually do that, or a Roth IRA. You want to make sure that you're taking advantage of those retirement accounts that are tax advantaged while you can, because there will come a time when you're not able to put money in, even if you've got the excess money to go towards those accounts. The next thing that I want you to look at is reviewing your retirement healthcare options. So typically, and this is population statistics, this is in general, women typically outlive men. However, the door prize that we win for having longer lifespans is that we typically tend to face more health issues over time. Hearing loss, hip surgery, chronic conditions, all of the fun stuff that isn't terminal, but that can be very expensive to treat and that can really impact quality of life. Remember, this isn't just about not running out of money. This is about living a fulfilling and satisfying life, right? So FEHB coverage for feds can often be retained into retirement as long as you meet the retirement qualifications. When you do retire, you need to have FEHB coverage for 5 years prior to retirement in order to carry that with you. If you were on FEHB for 2 years and then you joined your spouse's private health care and you've been on spousal coverage, it's time to take a look at that and make sure you get those 3 years that you need. So definitely take a look at that. You'll also want to review the plans. We're in open season right now. Got a couple more weeks of it. So definitely take a look at your options. We've got a great resource to help with that. There is a free plan comparison tool through OPM. You can find it if you just Google search FEHB plan comparison tool OPM. It will pop right up. There is also a paid service. It's not very expensive, but there's a paid service called Consumer's Checkbook that we love. You can compare plans side by side and kind of see the differences in plan deductibles and, premium expenses and what's covered and what's not. We do have a code for you, STWS, for 20% off on that Consumer's Checkbook access there. So definitely look at your healthcare options. Have a plan when you're headed into retirement as far as, what that's going to look like with FEHB and Medicare integration. And then also, we need to be thinking about, as women, kind of along the lines of, having more healthcare concerns as time goes on, long-term care insurance.
Often with long-term care, it's women who have lived to, a longer age that need long-term care support. Long-term care insurance can help cover costs when Medicare and FEHB don't. An example of this is assisted living or in-home care. If what you want is to be able to stay in your home as long as possible, regardless of health concerns, long-term care is going to be a hot button issue for you. Kind of average premiums for a $165,000 policy, you're looking at an average of $950 in premiums annually. However, costs are going to vary by state, by age, by health history. And, if you've got pre-existing conditions, which many of us do, heart disease, cancer diagnoses, history of those things, that's definitely going to impact things. There is no blanket recommendation for long-term care insurance. I will say that currently the federal program is paused. It is expected to open at some point soon. If you are somebody who is curious about long-term care insurance, I would recommend talking with a financial planner, talking with a certified financial planner who can kind of talk to you about what your needs are, talk to you about what your options are before, very important, going to talk to an insurance salesman. Okay? Understand what your situation is financially, understand what your needs are, and go into that conversation educated about what you're looking for. And then lastly, we want to look at planning your income strategy in retirement, right? If you're nearing retirement, we want to kind of figure out, okay, what are we looking at pension wise? What are we looking at Social Security wise? Are we going to take Social Security at full retirement age? Are we going to delay until 70, right? And get a slightly larger benefit? All of those things require holistic, comprehensive planning, somebody who is looking at the full picture with full context. We always toss out, if you've got questions, if you want to reach out to us, you can email us at askstws@stwserve.com for something like planning income strategy, long-term care strategy. We need a lot of context. So we'd be happy to sit down with you and talk with you about that and kind of help you build that structure to have in place prior to making that retirement transition. Typically, it tends to go a whole lot smoother that way. And again, maximizing choices, right? If we've got a structure and we've got it built out and we can have this many choices before retiring versus figuring it all out after and having this many choices, I would rather you put the time and the effort in beforehand and have more choices and options for you in that retirement period. So feel free to reach out to us. We'd be happy to talk with you about that. As Dan mentioned, we are pretty uniquely qualified and prepared as a firm to talk with female feds about retirement.
Yep. Lots of brilliant team members and one old guy with seven transitions.
I was going to say, where are we headed there? Lots of brilliant team members, and then also Katelyn works here. So no.
So yeah, well, that's all the time we have for today, folks. But don't forget us, because we will be back here every single week. We're here every day, actually. We are here every day. But these episodes are every week to give you what you need to know to make the most informed decisions about your current financial well-being as a Fed.
Absolutely. And so that you don't miss that episode, be sure to subscribe to our podcast on our YouTube channel so that you never miss an episode. If you are an audio-only person like me, you can find us on Spotify as well. Please do remember to share this podcast with your friends and colleagues who are in the federal space so that we can help them too.
Yeah, my dad always said a face made for audio. So for more information about the topics covered in today's show and more, check out our blog at blog.stwserve.com, or you can get through the website, stwserve.com, and subscribe to the newsletter, Weekly Serving. We will send you the best we got every single week, delivered straight to your inbox. You don't even have to go looking anywhere.
Absolutely. And for those who want to dive even deeper into learning about your federal benefits and financial planning for feds, we encourage you to join us for one of our complimentary webinars. So we've got a couple coming up. We have a TSP webinar on November 21st from 1 p.m. to 4 p.m., and I will be hosting that. And then we also have a session on FERS. Really great session to start with. I know I always say this when we talk about the FERS session, but it's a great place to start your journey if you're just kind of getting into learning more about the details of your federal benefits. That's going to be on December 4th from 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. And the lovely Jen Meyer will be hosting that session. She's a wonderful advisor here with us. She's been with us for a long time. She's a great host. And of course, if you prefer a one-on-one approach with us, if you've got specific questions that you want to ask that we need that very valuable context to be able to help you answer and address, feel free to reach out to our team directly for a financial planning consultation at askstws@stwserve.com.
Absolutely. So folks, thanks again for listening and watching the Fed15. I'm Dan Sipe.
And I'm Katelyn Murray.
And we will see you next week.
See you guys next week.